Hello and welcome to Oddities in the Round 1 AFL 2024 season. Thanks for stopping by and watching. In this first clip we can see Jared Witts is going to be on this highlight reel forever for copping probably the biggest falcon I've ever seen. We've probably all seen a few of these clips by now, but in the Collingwood and Sydney game you can actually see that the ball, once kicked by Gordon, hits the camera, which is on those wires up the top. And I'm assuming the umpires didn't see this because it probably should have been a ball up after that. What do you think should have happened? Now before we go to the next one, please do leave a like, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to battle Egg Footy. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers before he does. We're on track to win that game, so please, if you are new, do subscribe and let's beat Egg Footy before he reaches 10k. How's this bloke at the end of the Carlton game when you can hear him yell out, "Go Baggers!" and then he just proceeds to pour the drink straight on his face. Not entirely sure how much he got in his mouth, but didn't look like much. I found this one to be a little bit strange. Do you think Markov went off his mark enough for the umpire to call play on? Rowbottom looks like he's gone over the mark well before the umpires called play on, and this should have been a 50-metre penalty in my opinion. What do you think? Should have this been play on or a 50-metre penalty? I think we have a goal of the year contender already as Jeremy Cameron fends off a defender, kicks the ball down towards his forward 50, receives the ball back and then kicks a very difficult kick on a left boot and it goes through for a goal. Some team play and also individual brilliance. I know both Paddy Cripps and Tom De Koning are athletes, but this is only 5 minutes of game time and somehow Paddy Cripps has already run 22 kilometres and Tom De Koning has run 9.1. That is some elite pace, guys. If this was last week, Maynard would have been pinged for insufficient intent with keeping the ball in, which would have been a free kick to the Sydney Swans, but for some reason he does something very similar to last week, but this one is okay to be behind. Do you know what the difference was from last week to this week? I'm very confused. Papley's done the right thing and he's tried to pass the ball over the top to his teammate in Lloyd and he just leaves the ball behind. You can see he tries to go back for it, fumbles again and then gets tackled. This was just a complete comedy of errors. Liam Baker gave away a 50-metre penalty, which as we know was a very, very generous 50-metre penalty. And De Koning goes through and kicks the goal in a crucial point of the game, and it did look like it was an accident, but watching the replay from the other angle in slow-mo, you can actually see that it does look like he knocks the ball out of his hands on purpose, in my opinion. The Freo Dockers reckon this has been touched off the boot. After watching the replay, it definitely was, but the umpire didn't call touch, so this is paid a mark. But I guess just like in basketball terms, ball don't lie.
You don't get the review on the mark. It means the Lions having the set shot. Loman's moment is missed.
I have absolutely no idea what the camera operator was doing here. After De Goey kicks the ball, I don't know if the camera operator doesn't know what to do. He sort of sticks on him, he looks at Amadi, he's completely lost the ball. Director, quick, change the camera angle, man. I thought this one was a little bit harsh by the umpire. You can see Tom Green marks the ball, and if you follow the lines of where the grass goes, it does look like he marks it maybe a metre or so behind that line colour change. And Curtis goes over by probably not even a metre, and the umpire calls a 50-metre penalty. I thought that was fairly harsh for something that was quite minor. How's the balls on Dangerfield here? Game on the line. Up by 1 point, you kick the goal, you can almost guarantee your team the win. Goes back and he slots it. He's not usually accurate in front of goals, but he did it when it counted. Ford also tries to do the right thing and chip the ball forward to his teammate, but he just misses the kick and GWS are able to clean the mess up. This definitely should have been a goal to North Melbourne. How good was this tackle here? He's held on to his arm just long enough. Usually you can slip out of these sort of tackles, but he's held on for dear life and he gets rewarded with a holding the ball call in his favour. Not entirely sure how the umpire has just missed this blatant throw. The umpire is right there and he's just blindsided by it somehow. This definitely should have been a free. How's this smother from Brayshaw? He's just smothered the ball. He's jumped right at the right time or the wrong time, depending on how you want to look at it, and he's just got the ball straight to the face. Look at the desire and the want from Fremantle here. You can see that Switkowski comes from the centre square to come through and smother this kick from Joe Danaher. The Freo Dockers just wanted it more on the day, and that's a little bit of the reason why they won. Probably should have been called holding the ball here against Rowan Marshall. As he goes to kick the ball, he drops the ball towards his boot. It doesn't make any sort of contact. That's a clear holding the ball that's gone missed in the first 4 minutes of all things. Ash Johnson has a chance to bring the Pies back a little bit closer to Sydney. As he's, I guess, lining up for a goal from 50 metres, he just completely shanks it. This is probably one of the worst ones I've seen in quite a while.
For a terrific start for the Pies. That is horrible.
Mansell has a chance to push the Tigers' lead out, and this is a very regular shot for most forwards, especially small forwards, and somehow he's managed to hit the post when he is 5 metres out. It became a very costly mistake at the end of the game. We've all probably seen this one by now, but after Sicily gives away a free kick, you can see that he goes back up to him and pushes Sicily slightly, and he falls down on the ground. I don't like this in the game, it's a flop. You get warnings for this in basketball. This should be a fine or a 50-metre penalty if the umpire thinks a flop is bad enough. And then to follow it up, after the goal gets kicked on him, he goes in and decks Andy McGrath, and in the end was suspended but overturned to a fine. Give me your comments below. I'm sure McDonald would love to have this kick back again. As he's trying to chip the ball over the top to a teammate, he just kicks it straight to Callum Archie.
McDonald's coughed it up to Archie. And then into the hot spot they go. Pearce crunches.
After Harry McKay gives away a 50-metre penalty for not listening when the umpire told him to stand, Noah Bolter takes the ball inside the centre square and he proceeds to kick it to a teammate, but I don't know if he's missed the ball completely or what. I don't know what this was. He played a really good game, but this one was definitely a kick to forget. Brodie Smith from the Adelaide Crows has the kick-in duties, and I guess he doesn't see the colour between red and green. I don't know. He's just tried to hit his teammate, but he's just kicked it directly out in front to the bloke that's 15 metres from him, and in the end, Gold Coast kick a goal. Does anyone watch the Saints a bit more often than I do? Does Mitch Owens always have this sort of kick? It looks really ugly, and you can see that he's shanked the kick to the left, but just the kicking form looked really strange to me. Wouldn't you just love to be able to kick this far? Jaden Short makes it look so easy and so nonchalant. He just launches this from outside 50, probably 60 metres, and it clears it by 5 metres as well. This is a monster kick for something that looks so effortless from him. We've reached the secret part of the video. If you want to leave the code word BULL, as in B-U-L-L, I will give you a thumbs up and a heart in the comments below. Let's see how many comments we can get in there before people start to pick up on it. I think the GWS players heard the call touch, but I reckon it actually came from the teammate. As you can see, Lockie Whitfield tackles the marker, and it eventually is a 50-metre penalty. I understand this is very hard to do in the wet, but I just found this quite funny. As the Crows have it in their forward 50 inside the goal square, you can see Jake Saligo come from absolutely nowhere to come through for a wicked soccer goal to kick it straight through, but he just completely misses it, and I just found that a little bit funny. I'm sure you'd love to have this handball back. I'm not sure why you would do this if you can't hit it. Just kick it inside the forward 50. This handball to the grass, which, I don't know, it's just a poor handball overall. They showed this stat in the game, in the Collingwood and Sydney game, and I just thought that was quite interesting that Scott Pendlebury has played more games at the MCG than when they were South Melbourne and Sydney. Obviously being a home ground advantage to the Pies, but this is a pretty interesting stat. Didn't we see last year that someone, I reckon it was Jai Simpkin, threw away his opponent's shoe, and that was a 50-metre penalty? So why was this not a free, or at least, I don't know, please explain from Grind Myers. He's clearly done it to get his team an advantage. It probably should have been something. Vlosten has absolutely come from nowhere to stop Charlie Curnow from kicking the goal. In the end, it didn't matter, but this could have been a very easy goal for Charlie Curnow. Not sure why he played on, but well done to Nick Vlosten for the defensive play of the week. And that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, surely the channel deserves a subscribe. And if you already are, leave a like. It helps out the algorithm. Leave a comment below. It'll push it out to more people. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.